Now the question number 21. Frank and Hertz experiments prove that. So here option A is given light moves in the form of waves as well as particles. B. The electron does not radiate energy while moving in an orbit. And C. The energy states of an atom are quantized. The whole of the positive charge of the atom is concentrated in the nucleus. So according to all these A, B, C, D. So which option is correct for Frank and Hertz experiment? Suppose you will take A. Light moves in the form of waves as well as particles. So it is one form of light theory. And B, the electrons does not radiate energy while moving in an orbit. That is Bohr's atomic model. And the energy states of an atom are quantized. So here C, Frank and Hertz experiments proves that the existence of excited states in the atom. So in an atom, electron jumps from one energy state to another energy state. So this is possible only existing of the as excited states of atoms. So here energy which is present in the one orbit to another orbit is different. So that's why excited states may occur. So that's why electron occupies only the discrete quantized energy states. So that's why which option is correct here? The energy states of an atom are quantized. C is correct. Now, the question number 22. An electric dipole is situated in electric field as shown in the figure. The dipole and electric field are both in the plane of paper. The dipole is rotated about an axis perpendicular to the paper at a point A in the anti-clockwise direction. If the angle of rotation is measured with respect to direction of electric field, then the torque of the different values of the angle of rotation theta is correctly represented by A, B, C, D graphs. So here first of all, here this is the A, there given this is electric dipole. So which is rotating at this particular point in which direction? Anti-clockwise direction. So when this is rotating in anti-clockwise direction, which one is produced here? Torque is produced. So here torque is produced. As per the production of torque, tau is equal to P into E sin theta. It is cross product. So that means what happens here? It is the B graphs are given. So first graph is A, second graph is B, third graph is C, and fourth graph is D. So out of all these graphs, which graph is suitable for this particular question? So that means if you are taking theta is equal to 0 degrees, then tau is equal to sin 0 is 0. So first 0. Next, whenever we are taking theta is equal to pi by 2 is nothing but 90 degrees, tau is equal to P into E. So that means what happens here? We are getting plus value. And whereas theta is equal to, we are taking that one as pi, then tau is equal to, again 0 we are getting. So that means one time 0, another time maximum value, then again 0. Then afterwards theta is equal to 3 pi by 2, whereas tau is equal to minus P into E. Then we are getting negative value. Where afterwards theta is equal to 2 pi we are taking, tau is equal to 0. So that means whenever the graph is represented like this, first initially that is 0 means here 0. Then afterwards positive means here we are getting B, then afterwards we are getting 0, then afterwards negative value, then afterwards 0. So that means which graph represents here? This graph is representing the tau value. So that means which graph is suitable here? B graph is suitable. So that's why option is B correct. Now here the question number 23. When 50 grams of water at 10 degrees centigrade is mixed with 50 grams of water at 100 degrees centigrade, the resultant temperature is how much? So first of all we are taking the mass M1 is equal to 50 degrees centigrade and T1 is equal to 10 degrees centigrade. This is mixed with the mass M2 is equal to 50 grams and T2 is equal to 100 degrees centigrade. Here I wrote wrong. M1 is equal to 50 grams. So here the resultant temperature is required. Here the resultant temperature T is equal to M1 T1 plus M2 T2 divided by M1 plus M2. So what is M1 here? 50 into 10 plus again 50 into 100 divided by 50 plus 50. So then what happens here? 500 plus 5000 divided by 100. So 5500 divided by 100 is equal to 55 degrees centigrade. So which option is correct here? Option B is correct. Now the question number 24. The variation of electric potential with distance from a fixed is shown in the figure. What is the value of electric field at x is equal to 2 meters? So the graph is given here potential difference and here x. So here from 1 to 3 the graph must be straight line. So that means there is no change in the potential. I am expecting that. So here according to this graph 1 to 3 there is no change in potential. From 0 to 1 there is a decrease in potential. From 3 to 4 there is an increase in potential. So here decrease in potential, constant potential and increase in potential. So then what happens here? Which one we want to calculate? What is the value of electric field at x is equal to 2 meters? So here to calculation of that, first of all at x is equal to 2 meters, x is equal to 2 meters, x is equal to 2 meters, electric field, that means E is equal to minus dV by dt, that means potential gradient. That dV by dt is nothing but change in potential, that becomes 0. Why? Because at this particular point there is no change in the potential. So that means electric field is 0. So why? Because that potential is constants. So here which option is correct here? Option A is correct. Now the question number 25. A calorimeter contains 0.5 kg of water at 30 degrees centigrade when 0.3 kg of water at 60 degrees centigrade is added to it. The resultant temperature is found to be 40 degrees centigrade. The water equivalent of calorimeter is how much? So first of all 0.5 kg of water at 30 degrees centigrade, then 0.3 kg of water at 60 degrees centigrade, then resultant temperature is 40. So water equivalent is required. So first of all we will take for cold water. Cold water is nothing but 0.5 kilograms at 30 degrees centigrade. So that means mass of cold water is equal to 0.5 kg and temperature of cold water is equal to 30 degrees centigrade. So when we are taking for hot water 0.3 kg at 60 degrees centigrade. So mass of hot water is equal to 0.3 kg and temperature of hot water is equal to 60 degrees centigrade. Then afterwards the resultant temperature, that is TR, is equal to 40 degrees centigrade. But here water equivalent of calorimeter is equal to W we are taking. Now the simple phenomenon according to principle of method of cooling. So here heat lost by hot water is equal to heat gained by cold water. So that means principle of method of mixtures, heat lost by hot water is equal to heat gained by cold water plus heat gained by calorimeter. Why? Because cold water is present in calorimeter. So first of all now we are taking like this. What is that? Hot water, heat lost by hot water, that is nothing but mass of hot water and specific heat of water into resultant temperature minus temperature hot water minus resultant temperature is equal to mass of cold water, specific heat of cold water and resultant temperature minus temperature of cold water plus mass of calorimeter, specific heat of calorimeter and resultant temperature minus temperature of cold water. So here mass of hot water. So given 0.5 kilograms, convert into grams means what happens here? This one, first of all, mass of hot water, that is 0.3 kg. So that means 300 into specific heat is 1 into 60 minus 40 is equal to mass of cold water, that is 500 into 1 into 40 minus 30 plus mass of calorimeter, specific heat of calorimeter, water equivalent, into 40 minus 30. So here 300 into 20 is equal to 500 into 10 plus 10 into water calorimeter. So 10 water is equal to 600 minus 500, water equivalent is equal to here 600. So here 500 into 10, that is 5000, here 6000, 1000 divided by 10 cancel. So water equivalent of calorimeter, W is equal to 100 grams, that is 0.1 kilogram. So which option is correct here? Option B is correct. Now the question number 26. If a vessel containing a fluid of density rho up to a height h is accelerated vertically downwards with an acceleration a0, then the fluid pressure by the fluid at the bottom of the vessel is given by the which equation under A, B, C, D. So here first of all we are having the vessel here. This is the vessel and which contains the liquid of density rho up to a height, that is h is the height. Then it is moving here. If it is accelerating vertically downwards with the acceleration a0, then the pressure exerted by the fluid at the bottom. So here bottom is nothing, I will take in as this one as B. So here we want to calculate pressure by fluid at bottom of vessel. So that means at B, pressure at B is equal to, so here from here to here, what is this one? Atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure plus this pressure, that is H rho and G effective. So that means P0 plus H, that means this is the H, and density of the liquid rho into G effective. What happens here? Acceleration due to gravity minus a0. Why? Because it is coming in the downward direction. So which option is correct here? P0 plus H rho G minus a0. So that means option C is correct. So in this question, weak nuclear force always operates between A, electrons and neutrino, heavier elementary particles and charged particles, all the objects in the universe. So weak nuclear forces always operates between heavier elementary particles. Now the question number 28. A 3-meter long steel wire is stretched to increase its length by 0.3 centimeters. Poisson's ratio for steel is 0.26. The lateral strain produced in the wire is how much? So first of all, given length L is equal to 3 meters, and here change in length stretched to that means stretched length, that is 0.3 centimeters. This can be written as 0.3 into 10 to the power of minus 2 meters, or otherwise 3 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meters. So here Poisson's ratio. Poisson's ratio is equal to 0.26 is given. So here actually we have to calculate the lateral strain. So Poisson's ratio sigma is equal to lateral strain by longitudinal strain. But here I want to calculate lateral strain is equal to sigma into longitudinal strain. So sigma is nothing but 0.26 into longitudinal strain, that is delta L divided by L. So that means 0.26 into 3 into 10 to the power of minus 3 divided by 3. 3 gets cancelled. So the remaining answer is 0.26 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So here this is the answer. Why? Here the question number 29, why 220 volts AC is more dangerous than 220 volts DC? So AC is nothing but alternate current, DC is nothing but direct current. So first of all, 220 volts AC and 220 volts DC. So first of all, I will take here peak value of AC. That is nothing but V0 is equal to root 2 Vrms. So that means root 2 into 220 and multiplication of that 311 volts. So that means what happens here, then voltage of DC, that is equal to 220 volts. So observe the difference here. So voltage of AC is 311 volts, voltage of DC is 220 volts. So that means 220 volts of AC is more dangerous than 220 volts of DC. So that means what happens here, peak value for AC is much larger. So that's why the 220 volts of AC is more dangerous than the 220 volts of DC. So option B is correct. Now the question number 30. A body is moving with an initial velocity of 10 root 2 meters per second in northeast direction. If it is subjected to an acceleration of 2 meters per second square directed toward the south, then velocity of the body after 5 seconds is how much? So first of all, it is the north direction and it is the east direction, and this is the west and this is the south. So starting from here, it is moving towards northeast direction with the velocity 10 root 2 meters per second. But what happens here when it is making a theta like this, this is 10 root 2 cos theta and this side 10 root 2 sin theta. Afterwards it is moving in the towards the south direction with an acceleration of 2 meters per second square. So which one we want to calculate? After 5 seconds, what is the velocity? So that means first of all, the initial velocity u is equal to 10 root 2 cos theta I cap plus 10 root 2 sin theta j cap. This is I cap, this is j cap. So I and j. So then what happens here? U vector is equal to 10 root 2. Here exactly it is half, means what happens here? Cos 45 degrees I cap plus 10 root 2 sin 45 degrees j cap. So that means 10 root 2 into 1 by root 2 I cap and 10 root 2 1 by root 2 j cap. Root 2 root 2 root 2 root 2 cancel. So here 10 I cap plus 10 j cap. This is the velocity. Then acceleration how much here? 2 meters per second. So 2 meters per second square, that is in which direction? Towards south. So that means minus 2 j cap meters per second square. So which one we want to calculate here? Velocity after 2 seconds. So that means V is equal to U plus AT. So U means how much here? 10 I cap plus 10 j cap plus minus 2 times minus 2 j cap times t is equal to 5 seconds. So that means 10 I cap plus 10 j cap minus 10 j cap. Both are gets cancelled. So remaining answer is 10 I cap. I cap means in which direction here? East direction. So that means 10 meters per second. Which direction here? East direction. East direction, why east direction? Towards x-axis. So that is I. So which option is correct here? Option A is correct.